Tonight, while the world sleeps and your body finally stops reacting to the day, something extraordinary is possible. Your eyes can begin to see more clearly, and your memory can grow steadier, not through effort, but through quiet repair. After 60, the body does not heal through urgency, it heals through timing. Vision fades and memory slips not as signs of failure, but as signals that the brain and eyes are waiting for the right nutrients at the right moment. Night is when cells restore themselves, when inflammation cools, and when the mind reorganizes its deepest circuits. What you place into your body before sleep can decide how well that repair unfolds. Almonds, when eaten dry and in small quantities at night, support the body in a way that feels almost invisible yet deeply biological. After 60, the eyes and nervous system become more sensitive to oxidative stress, a process driven by unstable molecules produced through light exposure, metabolism, and aging itself. The retina is especially vulnerable because it consumes large amounts of oxygen and is constantly exposed to light. Almonds provide vitamin E, one of the most effective fat-soluble antioxidants for protecting cell membranes. This protection is not dramatic or immediate, but cumulative, preserving the integrity of retinal cells that would otherwise weaken gradually over time. Riboflavin found in almonds plays a quieter role, supporting mitochondrial function within nerve cells. Mitochondria are responsible for energy production, and as we age, their efficiency declines. When retinal and neural cells struggle to generate stable energy, signaling becomes inconsistent, leading to visual fatigue and cognitive fog. Riboflavin assists enzymes that keep these energy pathways functioning smoothly, allowing cells to operate without strain. This stability matters more at night, when the body reallocates resources away from activity and toward maintenance. Magnesium is perhaps the most underestimated mineral in brain health after 60. Almonds supply magnesium in a form that supports the calming of overstimulated neurons. With age, the nervous system often remains in a low-grade state of alertness, even during rest. This interferes with deep sleep stages that are essential for memory consolidation. Magnesium helps regulate neurotransmitters that quiet excessive neural firing, allowing the brain to enter restorative sleep more easily. When sleep deepens, memory processing becomes more efficient, not by increasing recall forcefully, but by reducing internal noise. The eyes benefit indirectly from this neural calm. Visual processing is tightly linked to the brain, and tension within neural circuits can manifest as eye strain, dryness, or fluctuating focus. By supporting relaxation at the neuronal level, almonds contribute to steadier visual perception. This effect is subtle but meaningful over time, especially for older adults who experience visual fatigue without obvious eye disease. What makes almonds particularly effective at night is their balance. They do not spike blood sugar, overstimulate digestion, or disrupt hormonal rhythms. Instead, they provide slow, sustained nourishment that aligns with the body's natural repair phase. The fats in almonds enhance the absorption of vitamin E, while their protein content supports tissue maintenance without burdening the digestive system. This allows nutrients to be delivered steadily throughout the night. Over months, this quiet protection accumulates. Retinal cells maintain resilience, neural pathways remain stable, and sleep-driven memory processes become more reliable. Almonds do not promise sudden clarity or dramatic cognitive shifts. They offer something more valuable after 60: protection, consistency, and the biological conditions necessary for vision and memory to age with dignity and strength. Walnuts have a unique relationship with the aging brain because they provide structural nourishment rather than temporary stimulation. After 60, memory changes are less about information loss and more about weakened communication between neurons. Neurons rely on flexible cell membranes to transmit signals efficiently, and with age these membranes become more rigid due to cumulative oxidative damage and altered fat composition. Walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which integrate directly into neuronal membranes, restoring fluidity and allowing signals to move with less resistance. This flexibility is essential for memory formation, recall, and sustained attention. Memory itself is not stored as isolated data but as patterns of connections that must be reinforced repeatedly. During sleep, especially in later life, the brain evaluates which connections are worth maintaining. Omega-3 fats support synaptic plasticity, the brain's ability to strengthen useful pathways while releasing inefficient ones. Without sufficient structural fats, this process becomes disorganized, leading to scattered recall and mental fatigue. Walnuts provide the raw materials that allow this nighttime reorganization to proceed smoothly. Beyond fats, walnuts contain polyphenols that influence inflammation at a low, chronic level. Inflammation in the aging brain is rarely dramatic. It is subtle and persistent, quietly interfering with neurotransmitter signaling. This inflammatory background reduces focus, slows reaction time, and weakens short-term memory. Polyphenols in walnuts act as modulators rather than suppressors, gently calming inflammatory signaling pathways without disrupting normal immune function. This balance is critical in older adults, where aggressive suppression can be counterproductive. The timing of walnut consumption matters. When eaten at night, their nutrients become available during the brain's most active repair phase. Blood flow patterns shift during sleep, prioritizing deep brain structures involved in memory processing. Nutrients circulating at this time are more likely to be used for membrane repair and synaptic maintenance rather than immediate energy demands. Walnuts also contain minerals that support enzymatic processes involved in neurotransmitter synthesis, further stabilizing cognitive function during rest. There is also a psychological dimension to memory health that walnuts indirectly support. Cognitive clarity depends not only on neural structure but on emotional regulation. Chronic stress elevates inflammatory markers and disrupts memory formation. The fatty acid profile of walnuts supports hormonal balance that influences stress responses, helping the nervous system settle into a calmer baseline. This calmer state improves the brain's capacity to store and retrieve information without strain. Over time, the effect of walnuts is cumulative rather than noticeable in a single moment. Memory becomes steadier, focus less fragile, and mental endurance more reliable. This is not because walnuts make the brain work harder, but because they allow it to work more efficiently. By restoring structural integrity, reducing silent inflammation, and supporting nighttime repair, walnuts help memory age not as a fading function, but as a quieter, more deliberate expression of a well-supported brain. Raisins appear modest in size and flavor, yet their influence on aging vision and memory begins at the level of circulation. After 60, one of the most underestimated contributors to cognitive and visual decline is reduced efficiency in the smallest blood vessels. The eyes and memory centers rely on capillaries so fine that even slight stiffness or narrowing can limit oxygen delivery. When oxygen supply becomes inconsistent, cells do not fail suddenly. They function under strain, leading to blurred vision, slower recall, and mental fatigue. Raisins address this quiet vulnerability by supporting blood quality and flow rather than forcing stimulation. Iron found in raisins plays a central role in oxygen transport. Hemoglobin requires iron to bind oxygen effectively, and mild deficiencies become more common with age due to reduced absorption and dietary limitations. When iron levels are suboptimal, the retina and hippocampus are among the first tissues to experience subtle deprivation. Raisins provide iron in a form that supports steady replenishment without overwhelming the system. This improves the consistency of oxygen delivery, which is more important than quantity for delicate neural tissues. Boron, another key element in raisins, supports communication between neurons. It influences the activity of enzymes involved in neurotransmitter function and helps regulate mineral balance in the brain. As we age, this balance becomes fragile, affecting reaction speed and memory retrieval. Boron does not act as a stimulant. It enhances efficiency, allowing existing neural circuits to function with less resistance. This is especially valuable during nighttime repair, when the brain reorganizes information and strengthens important connections. The natural sugars in raisins are often misunderstood. When consumed in small amounts at night, they provide gentle energy that supports metabolic processes without triggering sharp insulin responses. This is important because insulin spikes interfere with growth and repair hormones released during sleep. The slow digestion of raisins allows nutrients to circulate gradually, feeding repair mechanisms without disturbing hormonal rhythms. This creates a metabolic environment where both vision and memory can recover without disruption. Raisins also contain antioxidant compounds that protect blood vessels from oxidative stress. Capillary walls are sensitive to damage, and over time, oxidative injury reduces their elasticity. By supporting vascular resilience, raisins help maintain consistent blood flow to the eyes and brain. This consistency is what allows visual processing to remain clear and memory retrieval to feel less effortful. Over time, the contribution of raisins becomes evident not as sudden improvement, but as stability. The eyes feel less strained, focus becomes easier to maintain, and mental clarity lasts longer throughout the day. By nourishing circulation and neural efficiency in a gentle, rhythmic way, raisins support the foundations upon which vision and memory depend, allowing aging to proceed with greater balance and resilience. After 60, the body no longer responds well to aggressive strategies or sudden changes. Healing becomes a matter of cooperation rather than control. Vision and memory are not restored by forcing the system to perform better, but by creating an internal environment where repair feels safe and sustainable. The nervous system becomes more sensitive with age, and when it is constantly pushed, inflammation rises and recovery slows. Gentle nourishment works because it aligns with the body's natural pace instead of competing with it. Consistency matters more than intensity. Small, repeated actions signal safety to the body, allowing repair mechanisms to stay active without interruption. When nourishment arrives predictably in the evening, the brain and eyes begin to anticipate support during their most restorative phase. This anticipation stabilizes circadian rhythms, improving sleep quality and hormonal balance. Over time, this rhythm strengthens the body's ability to heal itself without external pressure. The combination of almonds, walnuts, and raisins reflects a balance that aging biology responds to well. Protection, rebuilding, and circulation are addressed together, preventing the system from compensating in one area while weakening in another. This balance reduces internal stress and preserves energy for repair rather than adaptation. The body functions best when it is not forced to prioritize survival over maintenance. Aging does not remove the body's intelligence, it refines it. Signals become quieter, and needs become more specific. When these signals are respected, vision and memory do not dramatically reverse, but they stabilize. Stability is a form of strength in later life, allowing daily experiences to feel less taxing and more present. Mental clarity becomes less about sharpness and more about continuity. Health at this stage is not about reclaiming youth, but about preserving function with dignity. Gentle, rhythmic nourishment allows the body to work with time rather than against it. When the system is supported instead of challenged, healing becomes a quiet background process, unfolding steadily and reliably, shaping an aging experience that feels calmer, clearer, and more grounded.